Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section we'll be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you are a cross watcher, just know this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, just know that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, we're going to jump on in. We're going to start with looking at your energy, their energy, and the energy in between the connection with oracle cards first, and then we will dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. But let's first, Aquarius, start with your side of this connection. Aquarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Optimism. Interference. So I feel a big shift in this connection from optimism to feeling almost as if the potential of this connection kind of got like cut off in a way with this interference card, almost as if the potential of it got taken away, or something interfered with the connection reaching its full potential in some way. And the reason I kind of made a face when I pulled that optimism card, because on the bottom was grief and sadness, and it was almost like the underlying energy for optimism was grief and sadness, which was very confusing at the time, but I think it kind of makes sense, where it was like this energy of optimism and then kind of turned to this grief, this sadness, this feeling a little bit blocked when it comes to this connection. The underlying for interference is follow your heart. And I feel like this is what you're trying to do when it comes to this connection, but I do feel that it's been complicated. Let's look at this person's energy toward you. Healing. Unfinished business. Okay. I feel like they see this connection as not having reached its full potential either with this unfinished business card. However, because the underlying for unfinished business is boundaries, it feels like this person is really kind of shut you out in a lot of ways. And this healing card, I don't know if this is like they shut you out because they're doing healing or they're needing it. Because like when I pulled this card, I was immediately drawn to this unfinished side. So I don't necessarily know yet like what's going on there. We're going to get more when we get into tarot. This is just overall energy. Let's look at what's between the connection here. Between you and this person. What's in between the connection is connection. I feel like there's a very genuine and a very real connection here. And I feel like you, even if there's like a separation here, I feel like you still do feel very connected to this person. I do feel like the love and care that exists. Oh, that's funny. I said even if there is separation. And the separation card came out. So I do feel like there is, in this separation, there's still a lot of connection here. You two are very kind of tethered to each other in some way, which I feel makes it really complicated and challenging to navigate because, you know, I do feel like there is a lot of sadness around how things stand, but I also feel for you, I feel like there's a lot out of your control. Like the ball isn't really in your court here, or maybe, I feel like, I don't know who necessarily like walked away from this, but I do feel that you feel you didn't have a choice. So like even if you were the one kind of that did walk away, I feel like it was because you felt you had to. If this person walked away, I feel like either way, I don't feel like you necessarily wanted the separation here. Overall theme of this reading here for Aquarius. We will overcome this. But on the bottom, there's someone better. I feel like you still have maybe optimism of getting through this separation. The feelings are mutual. So what's the problem? Some people never change. That's the problem. Okay. I think that there's going to be a lot to break down in this reading because I feel that you're kind of in this place of maybe still feeling kind of attached to this connection because of how, like, you do see the potential in it. You see this potential in this person, but I do feel that this person would need to change in order for the connection to work. And I don't know in what way. I don't know how. I don't know if it's like they would need to do this healing. So let's just get into it. Let's dive into it. Let's start with kind of the story on your side of things here, like how everything kind of unfolded from your perspective here. This is for Aquarius' side, interference with optimism. Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you're wanting another opportunity here in this connection. Page of Cups in reverse. But I also feel that you're very cautious in your approach here. I do think that this connection in a lot of ways has done a number on you. I feel like there has been a lot of hurt that's been caused by this person in your life. This Three of Wands is this indication that I feel like you're in this energy of waiting, kind of waiting on either things to get back to how they were or things to get to the place of how you believe that they could be. But then you're kind of in this energy of feeling really stuck. So there's a lot of kind of conflicting energy here. This is kind of similar to a reading I did earlier this week. I don't remember what the sign was, but a lot of conflicting energy here, like not really knowing how to approach this, because I feel like you know that you want this connection to work, but I also feel that you know that, you know, certain things need to change. I don't know what that is yet. Two of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of overthinking around this connection, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, so Five of Pentacles here, you don't want to lose this person. I feel like they mean a lot to you. I feel like you see this person as being someone who is really important to you, like just not even just in a romantic way, or this doesn't necessarily even have to be like a romantic reading, but I just feel like you see this person as someone that is really important to you, and almost as if like you'll always kind of be connected to them. Like that's kind of what I feel you feel. And I think that because of that, it makes it really hard for you to, make sense of the separation, because I feel like in your mind, you're like, everything would be fine if, and I don't know what this XYZ is, but like everything would be fine if XYZ, like if they would change, heal, do things differently, not make the mistakes that they did. Like, I feel like there's just so much potential that you see in this person and in this connection, but then there's just so many question marks around it that it really, like, what I kind of, it has your head spinning. It's like hard to make peace almost. And I think that there is this part of you believing that things can be good again. But again, yeah, then it goes back to being like, but I don't know, like there would have to be change here. So yeah, and in the end, I feel like Six of Swords in reverse, you're feeling really stuck. I do feel like there's kind of this, there's this constant wondering. What are they thinking? What are they doing? Are they thinking about me? How do they feel about me? Like, there's just this, just always kind of being very curious of like what's going on here, like what they're doing, what they're thinking, how they're feeling. And I think that it's put you in a really confusing space. It's like so much of their energy has taken over your energy that it's hard for you to like clearly see how you're feeling or what you need. Okay. I want to know more. Let's look at this person's energy toward you, Aquarius. Unfinished business with healing. Your energy toward them is very sweet. I feel like it's very genuine. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Page of Wands. Six of Cups. Oh, that's far too many cards. Let me clear, concise messages, please, here. Oh, okay. Justice in reverse. The World. Yeah, that's in reverse, right? Yeah, Star in reverse. Can I get clarity on the Star in reverse? Knight of Cups in reverse. This person has a tendency to act from a selfish place, to make decisions that are very self-serving, regardless of how it's going to affect the connection. And I feel like you know that about this person. I don't feel that, and this is something that I've learned, is that, people who act from selfish place or who do selfish things or whatever, I don't think are inherently bad people. I think they're people who are so deep in survival mode that their only priority is self-protection. And I feel like that has a lot to do with how this person showed up in this connection. The Six of Pentacles in reverse is this indication that there was this lack of reciprocation when it came to give and take. I feel like you gave a lot in this connection, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of compassion. And the word that is really strong here too is consideration. I feel like you gave a lot of consideration for this person's feelings, for their experience. And I feel for you, you never really got that in return. And I think in their energy, it's showing up that they never really returned that energy. And with this Page of Wands, I do feel that there is a reason for this. I do feel like this person carries some deep inner child wounding, and their inner child wounding causes them to show up in that selfish way. Because I feel, and something that I've really learned is that people love how they are loved, meaning that, you know, if somebody isn't ever really loved in a selfless, unconditional way, they're not going to be able to love in a selfless, unconditional way. They don't have an example of that, right? And so I feel when it comes to this person, they've never really had like safe, healthy love. And I think because of that, it's something that they don't know how to receive, and then they also don't know how to reciprocate it. This person has a heavy past. I don't know what happened in it. I don't know, like with the Six of Cups, as soon as I pulled it, it was just like this like weight, like just like it's heaviness. I feel like this person has a really heavy past, and I feel that they bring a lot of that past into how they handle this connection, into the projection of, you know, what they see in you or what they see in the potential of this. And I think that because of that, that makes their behavior really confusing, because for you, you're seeing things through the lens of like how you would act in their shoes, which is very natural and very normal. But, you know, we all have different experiences, and we've all handled and internalized those experiences differently. And I think that this person, you know, the way that they show up in this connection is not a result of how they feel about you, but it's a result of how they're used to being loved. And I think that because of that, that is, there's almost like this gap here. It's like this person has this desire, right? This desire to love and be loved. And then how they show up for it is just very different than that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of hit the nail on the head when I said there's a need for healing here, because I see that in, with the Justice in reverse. And this is where I think things start to get a little iffy, is the Justice in reverse is a lack of accountability. It's a lack of being honest about how they need to change. You know what I just noticed here too? And I feel like this is what it's alluding to. So there's a scale in both of these cards, in this Six of Pentacles and in this Justice card, and they both showed up in reverse. So it's interesting because I talked about the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and I was like, you know, there's not an equal give and take here. And it's almost as if they're not really taking accountability for that, almost as if they don't have the self-awareness to see how they're showing up in this connection is unfair. And I do feel like it is unfair. And I think that you know that and have known that. And again, I feel like that's why this separation wasn't really your choice. Like, I feel like you see, you know, the potential in what this could be if this person were, you know, to heal or to change the way that they show up. But I do feel with this World card, this person is very stuck in kind of their own cycle. And I think that that's one of the things that I've really learned about the human experience, and specifically about relationships, is that our relationships, or our ability to show up in a healthy relationship, is going to be directly dependent on a lot of different things: our self-awareness, our emotional intelligence, how much we have addressed and healed from our past. If not, our wounds are going to carry our decisions. Our wounds are going to drive us into certain decisions that don't really serve us. And I think that for this person, they do a lot of things that are very unfair in this connection, but they're very like, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, that's just, like that's what love is. Like, I just feel like they've been treated a certain way their whole life, that for them, like, the way that they show up is normal because it's the way that they've been shown up for, even though it's not normal and it's not fair and it's not what you deserve. Now, I think that it's really hard for you, on the other hand, because you have shown up with so much in this connection, that there's this part of you that's going, but I've shown you, right? Like what love is, or what, healthy, good love is. And I think one of the things we have to remember is that people don't know how to accept love that is greater than love that they are capable of giving themselves. And people love themselves typically in the way before healing, people love themselves in the way that they've been taught that they're lovable, or that they've been taught to love themselves. So we tend to internalize our past experiences as a reflection of our worth. And we say, if I've been loved this way, that means that this is the love that I'm worthy of, or maybe even this is the love that's, the only type of love or level of love that's possible for me. And then anything that comes in that tries to be more than that, they're not going to see it that way. They're going to filter everything through the level of love that they believe that they're worth. And I think that that's where, we tend to have this idea that we can love people into healing, or love people into healing themselves, but we can't. We just can't do that. Something that I've talked about before in my readings, and I think it's really important for me to talk about this experience, is not because I'm proud of it, but because I think that it can kind of add a lot to perspective, is that I used to be very unhealthy in relationships. I'm happily married now. I'm in a very healthy marriage, honestly, the first healthy relationship I've ever had in my life, which took a lot of healing and a lot of growth to get here. But before I had a spiritual awakening, before I really, started doing any kind of self-reflection at all, I was very unhealthy in relationships. I was very selfish in relationships. And I hurt a lot of people in the process of that, not intentionally, and never because I didn't love someone enough or care about them enough, but because I did not love or care about myself at all. I didn't think that I was worthy of love, and I didn't know this at the time, okay? At the time, I was just existing, right? Living in a very unconscious reality. And the decisions that I made in a lot of my relationships were very rooted in survival, and honestly, very self-serving survival mentality. And I feel like I'm saying this because I do feel that that's a lot of how this person is showing up in this connection, or tends to show up in their connections. And in my past relationships, I had a lot of people love me very well. But I literally had no idea how to accept that. My initial reaction when being loved well was pushing it away or ruining it in some way, because that is what I believed that I deserved. Even though, the other person was trying to show me what I really deserved, I couldn't accept it. Not because I didn't want to, but because I had to do some work and learning to believe that I was worthy and deserving regardless of things that I had been through. And I say that because one of the things that I think we tend to think in relationships is that how other people treat us is going to be dependent on how we treat them, meaning that we think that how other people show up has to do with how they feel about us, but it doesn't. People show up in association with their capacity and in their ability to give and receive love in a healthy way, and a lot of people just don't have that capacity. A lot of people haven't done the work to gain that capacity. So I feel like what's really hard about this is there is a lot of potential in this connection, and you both see it, but this person has a lot of healing to do before they would be able to show up for this connection in a healthy way, before they would be able to give and receive love in a healthy way. And from where things stand right now with the Star in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse, I don't see any indication of that healing. I feel like this person is still kind of living in a very emotionally unavailable, unconscious world, and there's no work that can be done there, right? And I say this not from a place of judgment, but from a place of experience. Like I would just, one relationship after another, I kept sabotaging and I kept making all of these mistakes. And just because I found a different person, or because, somebody else treated me a different way, didn't change how I showed up, because I was the common denominator in every single one of my failed relationships. And I think that when we start to understand that people don't show up in association with how they feel about us, they show up in association with their level of healing, then we can start to take our power back. Because when we're waiting on somebody to change, the second that we start waiting on someone to change and we start putting our eggs in the basket of someone being different than who they are, is the second we start setting ourselves up for heartbreak. Because a lot of people don't change. A lot of people don't grow. Most people just get older. And a lot of people aren't here to awaken and to heal. A lot of people are here to show us what happens if we don't. And I think that in this connection in particular, there is a deeper purpose to this connection showing up into your life, and every connection is a mirror. And, I think that we tend to look at how other people need to heal and other people need to grow, but there's always more to that story. The more that we say, oh, they need to heal, they need to grow so that they can give and receive love in a healthy way, we also have to look at our side of things. When we're attracting people into our life who are not capable of loving us well, there is still a part of us that believes that we are not deserving of love. So there's healing to be done on our side too. And again, I say our side because after doing a lot of work, I actually ended up on this side of relationships for several years, where I was then attracted to people who were very much like I used to be, because I had so much empathy for their experience because I had been there. And then I, tried to fix, save, and heal other people for a really long time until I realized that didn't work. And then did some more healing and some more work, and then was able to really align with the love that I've always been looking for. So I'm saying this not just to talk about myself, but because I have a very real experience with dealing with both sides of these dynamics, and I've learned a lot in my life or in my love life because of being on both sides of those dynamics. And I feel like, one of the things that Spirit has made abundantly clear, not just to me, but that I feel like a lot of people, to a lot of people on their journey, is that our relationships aren't here to show us our worth. Our relationships are here to show us what we believe that we're worth. And the level of love that we're able to attract at this time is directly correlated with the level of love that we believe we are capable of experiencing. So when we wait, here's the thing, and here's the kicker, and this is where a lot of people get lost. We think, I can, if I stay right here and I wait for things to change, that means that eventually things will get better. But what actually happens is we sit and we accept this less than what we deserve. And that's what we attract, because what we accept into our life, we're telling the universe, this is as good as it gets. This is what I want. This is what this is what I want to attract. And that's how we stay in cycles of not having what it is that we deserve. Receiving the love that we deserve is not about finding the right person or waiting on the right person to change. It's about becoming the right person for ourselves. And the connections that aren't able to love us well are showing us what we need to be for us so that we can attract the love that we deserve, whether it's in this person or somebody better. So I feel like there's a lot that Spirit's trying to bring forth in this reading. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily feel like everybody is going to be very open to this message. I kind of feel that for some people in this collective, there is kind of this closed-minded view around it has to be this person and it's going to be this person, whether it's whether twin flame or soulmate, this attachment to a label is there, or maybe it's something else, I don't know. But just know that, we become aware of the things we need to be aware of whenever we're ready. But I do feel that Spirit is trying to bring forth a deeper truth about this connection and what its purpose is in your life. We are not here to fix, change, or heal other people. That becomes a natural part of showing up in our truth and in our power. But we're not here. Spirit has not assigned you a list of people and said, you're here to save, fix, and heal these people. Okay. You're not here to awaken people. You're here to help people who are actively looking for help. And I think that we have to kind of switch our mentality from I'm here to suffer for other people's experience to I'm here to experience beautiful things while helping other people experience beautiful things, because you deserve a lot more than what this person is currently capable of giving you. We're going to hop on over to the extended. I know that's not what everyone wants to hear, but I hope that it's coming from nothing but a place of, first of all, experience, and second of all, love. All I want for the people that I read for is for you to receive the love that you've always been deserving of, that you've always been desiring of. And take it from somebody who always felt like that love was out of reach and it wasn't possible. The reason for that was because I was stuck in cycles that made me feel like it wasn't possible. So again, coming from nothing but a place of love. We're going to hop on over to the extended. You have separation with connection. I'm going to dive deeper into these messages, ultimately answering the question, what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self? And then I have an advice card to pull for you at the very end. Any information for that is in the description box below. What else is in the description box below is information on my upcoming workshop, How to Read Tarot. Tarot is obviously a huge part of my life. It's been a huge part of my journey. And I don't necessarily believe that there's one specific way to read tarot, but I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned a lot on my journey with tarot. And tarot has been a huge tool in helping me attract the love that I deserve and the life that I deserve. And I truly believe I wouldn't be here without it. So in this workshop, I'm kind of opening up and sharing all of the things that I've learned about using tarot, how to read it, how do you read it for your benefit. Any information for that, again, is at the very top of the description box below. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.